Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. Today, I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I'm your co-host, Ahmed Bahman.
And today we're going to talk about nutrition and mental clarity. So, is it true what we eat can affect the way we think and the way we feel? And Ahmed and I will talk about that to really dig a little deeper.
Absolutely. And, it's an interesting thing. What we eat will change the way we think and how we feel. It's whatever goes through us, regardless if it's a raw material of a food form or if it's something like when people give you some ideas, which they like to call food for thoughts, right?
Yes.
So if you hang around a person, let's say, who's continuously depressed, and you hear that every day, that can also make you sick. If you hear verbal abuse all the time, that can make you sick. If you eat junk food all the time, that can make you sick. But it's what keeps going through you. It's either going to empower you or it's going to disempower you.
Well, we said the body is a manifestation of the mind. So
Yes,
we talk
mind is
right?
mind is movement, and body is a manifestation of that movement. Now,
Mhm.
Prophet Muhammad once stated that he said a healthy mind is in a healthy body.
Right.
He didn't say a healthy brain is in a healthy body. Remember, the brain is part of the mind, but it's not the mind. You have as much as mind that's in your hair, that's in your fingernail. As Bob always said, it's everywhere. It's part of your being.
Everywhere.
It's that energy that flows all around. It's who you really are, in the sense of being a soul that activates every single thing in this body. So the mind has a capacity to shift anything and alter your state of being if you remain conscious enough. If you
Yes.
truly understand how the mind operates, one, you create a healthy self-image about yourself. People
Mhm.
sometimes they say, "Oh, I want to lose some weight." Well, as long as you keep thinking about the weight, you're going to keep that weight, because it's what you think about continuously. It's what the body is going to move in that direction. You want to
Correct.
see yourself slim, for example, right? So if a person says, "I don't want to be sick anymore. I'm sick of being sick." Well, if you keep thinking about sickness, that's what you're going to attract more of. You don't want to fight and go against sickness. Focus on being healthy. Bring
Right.
health into your consciousness. A person wants to be healthy, you need to develop health consciousness. See on the image of your mind that you are a healthy person and
And
tap
also
into the
build
feeling.
healthy habits, right? I mean, start creating new
Absolutely.
habits to change the way we're thinking. We just had a show this week when we talked about words and thoughts, how they truly manifest um, into our bodies.
Absolutely. Thoughts will provide you the feelings. The feelings will make your body move in that direction. You're going to start behaving, going towards whatever you've been entertaining.
Let's talk about, Ahmed, a little bit about um, fresh organic food versus
Yes.
processed food, because I do feel with all the studies that we've done that we see that there is a big difference in what we feed our body that creates our mental well-being.
Well, from what I understand is if you eat basic forms of food that had no processing, if it's natural, right? Nothing that comes in a package, but something that you can get at the butcher or the farmer.
Like an egg from a chicken. I used to eat
Like
that
an
when
egg
I was
from a chicken. Exactly.
I used to eat that right
So
from the chicken. It was good.
so the fresher, the natural way of life,
Hmm.
if that has been the process from the seed to the table plate, to the plate on the table,
Right.
of course you're going to have to go through washing it and cooking it, but it does have some form of energy that has not been manipulated. you know there was a doctor, when you want to discuss about organic, there was a doctor who was by the name of Norman Walker, and he created the Norwalk juicer.
Okay.
And he was sick. He was a very ill man. I think up to the age of 40, he had some sort of issues. But he remembered as a kid, when he saw, like, I think some women in his community, when they were grabbing the peeler and they just peel a carrot, and he just saw that this carrot, it may look solid, but it has some juice in it. You know, so the whole concept is that he would try to get a lot of nutrition into the body. And he said you cannot eat dead food all the time, right? If you want to increase life, you have to take in more life, which means there are living food. You can grab a cucumber and put it straight to the juicer, but the kind of water you're going to extract out of it is going to be like a living water. It has enzymes
Right.
and it's alkaline. You see, fruits are either acidic or neutral. Vegetables are alkaline. Now, Dr.
And your
Charlotte,
body. I was gonna say
Dr.
your
Dr.
body
Mac,
needs a percentage of each.
yes, you have to have a balance
Hmm.
in your life when it comes to your diet. Some people require more nutrition than the average based on years of deficiency that they had. Dr. Max Gerson, um, who developed the Gerson therapy, he said there are two reasons why people get sick. One is toxicity, and another is deficiency. But we must focus on one thing here. Toxicity does not necessarily means only from food. You could be living in a toxic environment, having toxic associates, toxic family members. I don't know, but you have to make sure that you always surround yourself in a healthy environment. It's your responsibility. No one can do it for you. You may find someone who's in need, you can help them out for some time. Just give them that awareness that they can do it on their own as they get along.
Right.
Now, deficiency does not necessarily always have to be with nutrition. You may find a person that's taking a good amount of nutrition, but he's still getting sick. He could be deficient in some emotions, empathy, love.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Dr. Max Gerson stated that in order for the body to maintain, um, a healthy level of alkalinity and acidity, the blood pH should be at 7.8.
7.
This is what
Mhm.
they call the homeostasis state. Now, I understand there are some people who have gone through extreme amount of stress and they feel tired all the time. What can they do? Right? Multivitamins may be a short-term solution, but it's a long-term problem. Eventually, all of those things put together, they're synthetic, most of them.
Yes.
Very rarely you may find something that's natural. Okay, then what is the natural alternative if I don't want to take multivitamins? Well, I like you to think of a term called adaptogens. and adaptogens are one of nature's most powerful sources of nutrient dense foods out there. And I want to start by saying we got bee pollen. Bee pollen is one of God's most complete food.
Mm-hmm.
It has so much nutrition. They say that if you can find local bee pollen, when the bee goes out, the bee knows from which flower to take a pollen that has not been contaminated by radiation. It's a God's
Amazing.
given gift. So they grab the pollen, and I think they excrete some juices from some enzymes from themselves, and they form these tiny little pellets. It's a size of sugar crystals, if I would want to say, and they're so nutrient dense. But what do I mean by adaptogens? Adaptogens are certain foods that energizes your body in a way that helps you to cope with stress mentally, emotionally, and physically. It
It creates that
rejuvenates you.
balance.
It creates a balance. And so bee pollen is one. Bee pollen basically it's a supplement replacement, but it's a natural food source. You can take it as a supplement. I'm not asking you to replace your food with it because it's very nutrient dense. Of
Mhm.
course, you need some raw materials. Then we have goji berries. Goji berries, yes, they're berries, but they contain all the uh, essential amino acids, source of protein, and they're very high in tryptophan. Tryptophan is the amino acid that helps you to convert to serotonin, which is known as the happy chemical, for example. What goji berry does as well, it alkalizes your blood. It's a blood purifier. It increases the yang energy, strengthens your legs, increases the capacity of the lungs,
Mhm.
reduces uric acid, helps to get rid of some form of candida, fights bad bacteria, and so on. Keeps your arteries clean. Turmeric is another. Just like goji berry, it also acts as an anti-inflammatory. Has many benefits. It's very rich in copper as well. Now, another one that I want to discuss is royal jelly. Now, royal jelly has has a very distinctive and special kind of food source. It has a specific type of protein called royal lactin. There's no other food source on the planet that has it. Now, how does it affect your health? Well, let me put it this way. The longest living people on earth today are beekeepers. They're
Yeah.
just beekeepers. But what is the secret? Well, royal jelly has the ability to slow down your aging process and speeds up cellular production. So what it does, it boosts your stem cells inside of you and allows you to regenerate much faster. Healing takes place much better. It's so nutrient dense that it even stimulates. Uh, it's like a boost to your brain.
Yeah,
So
brain.
imagine if you're having a cup of coffee and you want to have that mental clarity, try taking bee pollen, goji berries, and royal jelly all together.
You'll
It's
be the
like putting
smartest
your brain
person.
on overdrive. Recently they found a source of mushroom called cordyceps. They say it gives you more energetic boost than coffee. But royal jelly also helps to build neurons in the brain much faster. You got as well what helps to build the neurons in the brain is saffron. Saffron, they've conducted a double blind study where they had a sample of patients who were going through some form of depression. So they give half of the participants Prozac and they've given the other half of the participants 20 milligrams of saffron in a capsule. 6 weeks later, they found that the ones that have been taking saffron
Hmm.
gave equal results to the ones that have been taking Prozac, but without the side effects.
Wow.
Isn't it interesting?
Wow.
And saffron is one of the most expensive spices out there.
One second.
Another
How
one, go
they
ahead.
can buy that alone? That can be
I'm sorry.
purchased alone?
Not as a capsule form. You can buy them. They sell them in tiny bottles or jars. If you go to any Indian grocery store, they may have some, but it's one of the most expensive spices you can buy. Top dollar for a little amount,
Yeah.
but it's abundant in nutrients. And the best way to consume it is that they come in little hairs. If you trying to boil that, it will not give its extract quite a bit. So you gotta grind it a little, so it could break apart in a little powder form. Grab a little pinch in a cup of water, warm water, and drink it. It does elevate your mood. Another one that they said for mental clarity that really, really helps to build neurons in the brain cells is lion's mane.
I've never.
Lion mane is, yeah, it's amazing. These days, they even sell kits on Amazon that you can basically, just water that little box that they give you, and starts to, or a bag, and it starts to grow lion's mane. Of course, it requires a certain amount of environment,
Right.
but nevertheless, it does help.
Now, this is not in
So,
food that you can buy. Is it made in food, certain foods?
well, people say that what they do is that they chop lion's mane, and then they sort of like grill
And
it, right? They grill it in a pan. They press it a little bit, and they say it tastes like lobster.
wow.
So it has a certain
Mhm.
nutrients. Now, I want to go back to these foods. You see, if you keep the core system of the body functioning well, ailments and diseases can be reversed, and it can be, how can I say, uh, you can diminish it from progressing, right? We have Your body is an electromagnetic. It has electromagnetic capacity. It's like a capacitor on its own.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: if a person is going through depression, doesn't feel okay, they feel a bit off. If you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, lay off the caffeine for some time. It's most likely that your minerals are depleted from your body. You see, if you have electrical signals going from the brains to the limbs and you don't feel okay, it's a sign probably that you're not having enough conductivity going on.
Right.
Now, how can we increase the number of minerals? Well, you got two amazing sources that I like to mention. One of them is Shilajit. You get more than 70 minerals in it. Or if you want to have a little tiny pinch of pink Himalayan salt at times, that can help. And then one abundant source is sea moss. Sea moss has 95 minerals out of 105 that the body requires. There's so
I,
many food sources out
I
there.
take that.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel the difference. Sure.
Now, something out there for the ladies, for the ladies who, let's say, who have hit through menopause. Now, we know menopause, it's not an easy, joyful ride for women. And a lot of women suffer from hot flashes or osteoporosis that keeps coming through.
Yeah.
So, what do women do in general? You go to the doctor, and then they're gonna, uh, you know, run some tests with you. They check your hormones are out of balance. Therefore, you're gonna go on what? A hormone replacement therapy. But why do that when God is abundant in his giving, such as maca root powder? Maca grows in high altitude of the mountains of Peru. Naturally, that's its native place. But it's abundant. It has all the essential amino acids. It's very rich in calcium. And one specific thing, what it does, it regulates your entire endocrine system. There has been a few cases where women have been given a certain amount of maca root powder to take throughout the day,
Hmm.
where if a person had uh, an advanced stage of osteoporosis, it took them back to stage one. It helped to reverse, of course, by balancing a healthy diet as well. Coca Cola, Pepsi, or any kind of sodas, I understand for flavor, it's something. They have the caffeine, it gives you the aid in your digestion because it contains pepsin. But if you want to think your body like a tree, and if you give a tree something other than water, what it was supposed to have, what does a tree consume? The tree gets its nutrition from the dead leaves or branches, and it compiles over the soil, and it helps to replenish the soil. Or from a dead carcass, for example, an animal that is in the wild, decides to, basically, it falls somewhere, decomposes. So the tree feeds off these things, and what it wants to consume is water. You need sunlight. One reason why so many people catch flus these days is because they don't get enough vitamin D. And I'm not talking about in pill or capsule form. You need to get out there. That is
Natural
also
stuff.
part of life. Yes. If you go back in ancient times, we didn't have high towers and buildings. Even the houses were made of haystacks and clay. We were using natural earth material, nothing like concrete, of course. Days were different. But have you even suggested that some of your inflammation could be a result of accumulating high amounts of charges from radiation? Think about going out with bare feet to have a grounding effect. Look
That's
at the
very
high
helpful.
towers. Yeah, look at the skyscrapers. They all have an antenna, and then they have these huge cables running all the way down to underground. Why is that? So when lightning strikes the building, nothing happens to the building. It completely discharges itself. You won't believe how much your inflammation can reduce when you go and you ground yourself every day. You'll sleep better. And if you're going to charge your phone, charge it in another room. Switch off all the Wi-Fi's before going to bed. You'll do yourself a great favor. You'll sleep so peacefully and you'll wake up
Some people
refreshed.
sleep with their phone right on their bed, right? And I know that's not healthy at all.
It is not healthy. And I want to talk about sleep. Your body biologically depends on wherever your location is on the earth. Nature is harmonious in its rhythms. You need to be in a line with that rhythm because by 10, you should start to go to bed. At 11, between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., your body will start to release the hormone melatonin. And melatonin has a healing effect for you. You will wake up more refreshed. Those that stay up to 12 or 1, when they wake up in the morning, they feel like even they slept 10 hours, they still don't feel recovered.
Right. Because they didn't take the benefit of the melatonin in their body.
A- Absolutely. It just goes to waste. Now, when your body accumulates melatonin and you sleep at the right time, you even wake up happier the next day. Why? Because when you have accumulated melatonin during deep sleep, during the day, as soon as your body gets exposed to light, that melatonin gets converted to serotonin. Then again, God is so merciful and grateful, but He made everything in an orderly manner for us to live that way. And if we go against nature, then we're
That,
going
that
against ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the fact that, we see there's a big connection between what we put in our body, what we hold from our mind, the thoughts, the words, and things we speak truly all affect our vessel. We call our body the vessel that we need to protect, and using natural ways of protecting and natural vitamins, natural foods is what it's made to use and absorb to be at its best, right?
My absolutely, and my call to action for everybody who's watching this is try to learn more about what foods do contain. How can this food help your body to nourish the body? Don't just eat anything for the taste of it. Eat it on how it can nourish your body. What did Hippocrates say? Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food.
I love that. I love that. That is a beautiful ending to the show. I want to invite everyone. We're starting a Facebook group called Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. It's set up already, and we're going to come out twice a month to do some Q&As, or just, give out more information and to learn more about how we can really learn to live in a harmonious way, to just be happier and enjoy this life that we've been given, right? So I encourage everyone to check out the Facebook group, and feel free to join us. And thank you so much for watching us today on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. And we will see you next week. Thank you, Ahmed, for the information. It was beautiful. And I'm
Thank
sure
you.
everyone really is going to take your tips and help themselves with the information you provided. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for joining, everyone. And
Likewise.
we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change for